I'm Daniel, the past life regressionist, and it's time to begin.
Lift off and the clock has started.
This is Timeless Spirituality. Enjoy Eternity Time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Timeless Spirituality. It is time for another new episode. This one is a fun one, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It's manifestorific. I also have a free session giveaway for the Expanse Method, and that drawing closes on December 26th. So if you just want to enter it, go ahead over to my Instagram with the Past Life Regressionist and follow the instructions on the post. And I hope you win. It's something. I wish I could say that it's fun, but it is. It's a journey, it's healing, and I have gotten amazing feedback from it. So I hope you guys go into the expanse with me. And with all that said, if you would like to book a regression with me to discover who and where you have been throughout time, you can reach me on Instagram at the Past Life Regressionist or book through my website, thepastliferegressionist.com. And now, it's time to begin. Ayelet, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
How am I doing today? Do you want like the conventional answer, like I'm doing great, or like do you actually want to know how I'm doing? How much time do we have?
Let's try the latter.
No. Okay, I'm just being silly. How am I doing? I'm feeling really good and happy to be back on your show, and just always awesome to connect with you, Daniel, considering you are my husband's best friend. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So right now I'm feeling really good, and also just zooming out and seeing the week ahead that I have and doing what I need to do to not get caught up in the, oh my gosh, it's a back-to-back week. That's insane. And just come back to like my center and trust and know and believe that everything works out in my favor at all times. So thank you for having me talk that out loud, because I just felt my whole nervous system kind of like shift a few degrees into a more regulated state. So thank you for that.
It's my pleasure. Glad I could help.
That was like a 3-second therapy session. What am I doing paying a therapist?
Exactly. I mean, one of two things happen when someone talks to me. Either that happens, which is happening right now, or they cry just by looking at me. I don't have to say anything. They just start crying.
Just by looking at you?
Yeah. I don't know.
Is that a compliment or?
I mean, in this field, it is.
That's true. That's true.
Otherwise, I mean, who knows? It's like maybe they recognize you from a past life, from all the horrible things I may have done to them. By the way, everyone, that's a past life joke. I think everyone has done horrible things in past lives. So
not me.
Of course not. So something cool just happened right now. I thought to myself, all right, I've already asked you what your favorite song about time and why. Did I get that right grammatically? But I've noticed that when I've had people on the show more than once, I usually just skip over it or ask them for a new song. I'm going to try something new with you right now. What is your favorite movie about time? And also my hands are going to go up. So I'm going to want to guess the year because I love playing the guessing game. And then once I guess the year, I'll ask you why it's your favorite movie about time.
I mean, if this qualifies as a movie about time, I would say Inception. Does that qualify?
Yeah.
It's like
2010.
Your hands are vibrating at the frequency.
Well, now I'm excited. Yeah.
Which I'm like.
Inception was summer of 2010.
Did you just know that off the top of your head?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You've got too much time on your hands, Daniel.
Let me pull that up really quick just to verify.
Fact check.
Pretty sure it was summer 2010. Well, that's what I'm saying right now. Let's just double check that. Now, just for confirmation. So you see, I'll hold it up there. Can you see it?
I do see. You stand correct.
Cool. So why is that your favorite movie. I almost said song about time. Why is that your favorite movie about time?
So, Inception is a movie about dream states and how we can actually, or at least this was it's been years since I've seen Inception. So, keep in mind that my interpretation of the movie is like a younger version of my interpretation. But the way I perceived the movie is that you access dream space. And in that dream space, if one is like lucid enough in that space, you can actually create dimensions and realities in that state. And what I love about that is like it really reminds me, and this is a manifestation thing that I talk about a lot, is time bending. Because a lot of people ask me when they start working with me and doing manifestation work, they say, I feel like I'm like lucid all the time. Like I don't know the difference between dream and reality because we do a lot of like hypnosis, visualization practices that kind of blur the lines between 3D physicality and what would be the opposite of 3D, more intangible realities, like what our minds can visualize, right? We can't actually feel it in the 3D, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And so when a person is in that like lucid space, it can kind of freak them out a little bit because they kind of lose grasp of what's real and what's not real, which kind of makes a person feel a little bit out of control. But I actually say that that is like where the magic lives, being in that lucid space where physicality and non-physicality gets blended is where you're actually able to start playing with the upper dimensions, or we'll call it the quantum field, and start creating realities in that quantum field and drawing them into your 3D. When a person gets too caught up in 3D reality, what I see is what I get, and there's nothing beyond that, it becomes a lot more physical and hard because it's not malleable. It becomes harder to move your reality using your consciousness. So I'm giving you a long-winded answer to what, well, I imagine that's where you're going with this, is like you want to go deep. But for me, that lucid state and that dream state becomes a portal. Dreams become a portal where we can bend time, where we can accelerate time, where, I've started doing this practice. I was just sharing with you before we pressed record that I just finished the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I'm very intentional when I watch what I watch. And my whole intention around watching Lord of the Rings was to access creative portals in my psyche, in my own mind, because it is so fantastical. And I've realized that when I'm dreaming, I'm now dreaming in a more fantastical way. The images are more vivid. The color is much more vivid. And I'm much more aware in my dream state that I'm actually dreaming, which means I can go into my dream state and start waving my magic wand, and I can kind of take that space and have it look and become whatever I will it to be. And when that line gets blurred between waking state and dream state, you're doing something right from a manifestation perspective, because you're no longer locked into this version of reality that what I see is what I get and there's nothing more to it.
All right. So it's going to be one of those episodes today. All right.
What'd you expect? You should have prepped me, given me something. It was like,
It's okay. We'll take it there. I like that. Okay. You know what? I'm not even going to question you on that right now or inquire more, because I think that will feed into some of the places that we're going to go, and we'll expand upon it then. So I'm not being a jerk, just like, okay, let's move this along. Cause okay, anyways, now I'm thinking out loud. See, you have me doing it.
You're
becoming more aware.
There you go. See how easy that was? Yeah, I'll bill you later. We can bill each other.
Yeah.
Bill each other.
Look, I think your rate may be a little bit higher than mine though. So, okay. Anyways, you want to just remind everyone who is Ayelet?
Ayelet is a manifestation expert. I have traveled the world, lived in India for 6 years. I've lived in Israel for 8 years. I've lived in the Amazon jungles of Peru. And I am what they call, or what I'd like to think of myself, is a true seeker, a seeker of truth, a seeker of ancient wisdom, a seeker of multidimensional wisdom and access to other dimensions. So the last 2 decades of my life has been one of real deep exploration and going into like the depths of my own shadow, my own underworld, in order to reemerge and be able to give manifestation tools to people who don't necessarily have the desire or the ability to spend years, immersed in tribal culture. And I've created a whole, what I call the manifestation methodology. So it's an A through Z methodology that I take the everyday person through to help them shift their frequency to align with their desires and then turn their desires into their reality. So whether it's someone who wants to manifest their soulmate or their dream home or their dream job, or even if it's just as simple or complex as inner peace, peace of mind, anxiety-free living, right? These are all realities that are possible. So I shift people from the paradigm of impossible thinking to I'm possible thinking, like I am a living, breathing possibility.
I see what you did there. That's clever.
You see what I did? That was good,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Thank
good.
You. Yeah, thank you. Patting myself on the back for those who can't see me. Okay. Yeah. So that's in a nutshell. But I mean, we can spend 2 weeks here on podcast unpacking all of that. I don't have 2 weeks. I don't think you do either.
I hope I do.
No,
bad time joke. Oh boy, I am not on a roll today. Are you ready for probably the deepest question I'm going to ask you today?
Oh, wow. I hope so.
What do you feel the difference is between belief and faith?
Okay. I believe faith is like almost kind of like a knowing that you know that you know, right? Like this is a deep question. Okay.
That was your politician moment right there.
Belief is like the everyday action of faith. Let's put it that way, right? It's like faith is this like somatic knowing, like in my body, I just know. Like I can't necessarily prove that God exists. Let's say if we can go there for a second. But in my field, in my system, in my body and soul's architecture, I just know. For me, I know that God is real, that God exists, that there is this supreme being. Can we say God? Can we say God?
Yeah.
I'll use God interchangeable with universe, divine, creator, source, call it what you will, but that there is this cosmic intelligence beyond our understanding that really kind of requires what's called a leap of faith in order to know that this omniscient presence exists. And so it's more of like a somatic experience for me, faith. It's like this knowing feeling, whereas belief is the acting upon my faith. It's like because I have faith, I'm going to take the actions to show or prove to myself that I believe that God is real. Does that make sense?
I'm kind of in awe right now. Holy shit. No, that was, well, how would you simplify that?
Can I ask Google for a second? Can I just pause and take out my phone? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to ask Google. How would I simplify that? Okay. It's a good question. How to simplify something that feels so not simple. I think believe is something that's more tangible. Like I believe that when you tell me we're going to start a podcast at a certain time, I believe that you're going to show up at that time. Right? Like I believe you. It's more tangible. It's more hands-on. It's more, I think I need time to think about this question. I haven't like sat and thought about this. It's a good question though. It's a good question. You stumped me. Hold on. Let me feel into it. Okay. I have an example. I have a 5-year-old son. He just got to level 2 in his karate class and he's a little bit intimidated because all the kids are older and bigger than him. I have faith in my son's ability to excel in karate without having tangible proof. Okay. I don't have tangible proof, but I believe, I have faith. I can't use the words interchangeably. That doesn't count. I have faith that he's going to excel. And my faith that he's going to excel is based on tangible evidence that has caused me to believe that he is going to excel. And that tangible evidence that's caused me to believe is based on the fact that he has shown up to karate week after week after week for the last 6 months. Right. So I believe I have belief because I see it. He's showing up. That's my belief. It's not blind. It's not blind faith. The faith that I have in his excelling at some point in karate is based on the fact that I've seen and now strengthened my belief because I've seen him go again and again and again. Something like that.
So it has nothing to do with God or a higher power in that example.
Not necessarily. I don't think faith or belief has to have to do with God. I think it's like an internal mechanism that we've been given as human beings that we can like access and use as tools for, like, I believe my husband when he tells me he loves me. I believe him. And faith, where would that come in? I feel like I have faith that he's going to love me forever. Meaning the faith part is not here right now necessarily. I can't see it. I can't necessarily feel it. I just have faith. It's this internal knowing that he's going to love me forever. The belief is based on the fact that he's loved me up till now. Or do you know something that I don't know?
No,
Daniel?
I mean, I was just actually trying to think of something quick and witty to say, but I'm like, no, I think he does love you. So I got nothing. So sorry. I think that is a really cool answer. I know that's like my third grade lingo there. But I think what's even cooler about this question, because I don't think that this really requires us to have more of a discussion off of that answer. But what's really cool is that, look, for this episode for us today, there was nothing pre-planned. Other episodes, yes, there's some stuff. It's like, okay, here's what we're going to talk about. But, we just kind of went into this. But for the 5th season of the show, this is the one question that I don't tell anyone about ahead of time. So my goal is to record the entire season before I release the first episode of the 5th season, because I don't want anyone to have the opportunity to prepare for this question. I want it to be so organic and on the spot, because it's so cool to see people work out the process of the difference between belief and faith.
You really had me working there. And you
It's
must have
fun.
had faith in me to be able to even answer the question in the first place if you decided to have me on for the 5th season run of your show.
Either that or I was just looking for good entertainment. One of the
Well,
two.
I hope I offered a little bit of both.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm just being honest. Yes, I have faith in you to answer that question and everyone else I've asked that question of so far. But of course, it would be good entertainment to see you squirm a bit.
Did anyone answer that question with like full confidence? Like they just had the answer ready in their back pocket?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm so curious. What'd they say?
I guess you'll just have to check it out.
I will. Oh, wow. Okay. Now I feel like up to a challenge. Now I have to have like an answer ready to go.
But here's the thing about that. Who's to say that that's the right answer, even if someone answers it with confidence? I'm not saying that it wasn't the right answer. I mean, who the hell am I to deem whether or not it's even correct? But, do you see what I mean? Just with the confidence component, who's to say that just because someone has confidence in that response or any response for that matter means that it's correct?
You've got like my wheels turning now. Like I'm going on a mental roller coaster right now.
All right, what you got?
No, I'm just like, I'm thinking, well, like, okay, so now it's getting into like semantics, right? It's like, okay, first off, who invented these words to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is it just semantics? Is it two ways of saying the same thing? Or are there actual nuanced differences? Or did someone just want to like stump us and trick us and play some sort of like rude joke and come up with like 2 words that mean the same thing just to have us have a conversation like this and get us like get me all worked up because
I'm
I
sure
don't
that
know.
was their intention. But I think that leads into the next question I'm going to ask you about the semantics and the meaning of words and who created what they mean. Because there was a word that you used earlier, which was time bending.
Mm-hmm.
I think that can mean one thing to you, one thing to me, and something completely different to anyone and everyone else who hears that word.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you mean by time bending?
Mm-hmm. What I mean by time bending, and always like understand that I'm speaking from a manifestation context. You're probably speaking from like a past life, current life. I don't know what, maybe I'll have you on my podcast and then we'll go into what you mean by time bending, because I would be curious to hear. But what I mean is sourced in manifestation. So according to quantum physics, right, we are multidimensional beings living in a multidimensional universe. So just because I can see you with my bare eyes doesn't mean that that's all that exists. There are other dimensions, and according to a lot of like spiritual sources, Kabbalah being one of them, Hinduism, those are the two that I've studied more intensely. So I know just these two spiritual paths teach that these other dimensions, even though we can't see them, they are just as real as this dimension that we live on here in planet Earth, in the world of action and 3D form. And they have their purpose. And so there's what's called the quantum field. And essentially it's this dimension that is filled with pockets of information. And we could even say that it's like, if you know, maybe if someone does enough psychedelics, you could even access that realm and see that it's just it's formed by the word just slipped my mind. I just had it. Hold on. Sacred geometries, right? So everything is a code. Every code, every pocket that exists in this other dimension called the quantum field exists as a pocket filled with codes or sacred geometries. And when we use our consciousness, meaning we use our power of visualization. So what I often do when I'm time bending, or if I'm taking a client through a time bending process, is I'll have them close their eyes and I'll take them through a little practice to get them to like a trance, like semi-trance hypnotic state. And then I'll insert a visualization where I literally take them through the already manifested version of themselves as though they're living it right here, right now. What you're doing when you do that is you're accessing two time portals simultaneously. And so in essence, by doing that, you're collapsing time and space. By envisioning a future version of you and feeling in your body right here, right now, the sensations, the little electricity nuances running through you, the excitement that I'm already living my manifestation. Because if I can think it, then those thoughts that create images are made up of particles. The same way if you take a photograph, let's say you were to see a photograph, it's made up of particles that are just more dense in their nature. So visions, photographs in your mind are also made up of particles. Everything is just made up of particles. It just might be looser particles, if we may. And so by accessing that future version of you and living it while you're living in the here and now today, you are actually bending time and bringing that future version of you and actually magnetizing it. And by feeling the frequency in your body as though it's already yours, you activate your electromagnetic field, right? Which is the field of energy that exists around you, which is also made up of codes and sacred geometries. And you're aligning your immediate field, the energy around you. And it's called electromagnetic for a reason, because you're actually turning yourself into a magnet that has the capacity to then magnetize that image of particles down here into your 3D, therefore collapsing and bending time in your favor.
All right. So before I really piss off the audience right now, just need to preface this by saying I respect the hell out of you. You know, I think you're fucking magical. So with that said,
Well, I'm like scared. What's next? You can't build me up and then break me down, Daniel.
well, that's what I wanted to say. This isn't about breaking you down right now. I think it's important to see your process here because of the way you worked out belief versus faith. I think that this is going to be very valuable for everyone listening. And I'm only asking you this because I respect you.
Okay.
Plain and simple. I believe in, I know I'm probably building up way more than I need to. Everyone, go work with her. She's fucking magical. Not just saying this because she's my best friend's wife. It's because I've gotten to know her over the years. And the first time I met her, before she was my best friend's wife, it's like, damn, she's fucking magical. Okay.
Okay, I'm
So-
ready. I'm ready for the breakdown. I'm ready.
With all of that said, what if time is an illusion?
Well, time is an illusion. Well, time is a construct, not an illusion. Time is a construct. Time is a man-made construct. And in many ways, it's an important construct because if I have lunch plans with you at 2:00, I don't want to be late. So I need to look at my watch. And we now have this agreed upon point within existence of when we're going to be meeting. Okay. So from that perspective, time is important. But it is important also to understand that time is a man-made construct and that when we shift our perception of time, then the amount of time in big quotations, and I'm using the word time here because it's like a socially agreed upon word, but I also I have a new perception of time after doing this work, where for me, time works for me. I don't work for time. And a lot of this has to do with our perception of time. It starts there. And so when we are little, how often do we hear, and I catch myself doing this with my own kids, it's like, we're going to be late. We're going to be late. There's not enough time. There's not enough time. Like I'm constantly with my kids who just love to take their quote unquote time with things, right? It feels like there's never enough time. We're never going to get to where we need to be on time, right? So it's like, it's become this socially agreed upon thing for sake of having a systematic way of organizing reality and structuring reality. So it makes sense from that perspective. But if as kids, we were told there's not enough hours in the day, it goes without saying we're going to grow up with a distorted perception of how time works because there is no such thing as time, meaning it is a construct. And when we get that, that's when we're able to access this quantum field. That's when we're able to access this superpower that I am now able to like bend the amount of perceived time something takes. Right. So I'm with the question. I'm not offended by it. I think time is an important construct, but in order to be above time and in order to have time work for you instead of you being a slave to time, it starts with the person really getting honest and real. What is my relationship to time? Number one, when I'm working on a project and I have a deadline, what is my frequency telling me about my relationship with that deadline? Am I in angst? Am I filled with anxiety? Do I feel pressure? Do I feel burnout? Right? If that's the case, then we need to go back to the drawing board and relook at the stories I've been telling myself about time. Right? Because we're multidimensional and things exist in like the how do I explain what I'm about to say? Like, I learned, we did a lot of this in India, actually, where when we were in that super conscious state in meditation, we were taught that I think it was like 68% of our traumas and our childhood wounds, we could actually rewrite completely as though it never existed, meaning the experience itself existed, right? Tommy, who I had a crush on at age 8, didn't like me back and he told me he didn't like me back, right? That experience happened. He told me I don't like you, right? But the meaning I attached to it and all of that can actually be written when we shift our perception around time and our meaning that we attach to experiences. Does that make sense or have I totally lost you?
No, I'm still with you.
You're with me. Okay. So yeah, I would say time is a construct, an important one. And also I think that we've made such a big deal out of time and that we've allowed time to rule us, that time as an entity in and of itself has the ability to like put us under a lot of pressure. Time has this ability to have us like fear death, right? We're on a past life podcast, right? It's like time has this ability to instill fear in us. And I think a lot of the pressure that we experience as human beings, like this existential threat of death, is always hovering. It's always hovering, and it has us in this like pressure cooker all the time. See, time. It's everywhere. And so I think just recognizing our definition of time can help us have a more malleable relationship with it and start to say, okay, time is my friend. And I can be in traffic and have to get to a meeting that's an hour away, but I'm, according to Waze, I'm in 2 hours of traffic. But if I shift the way I relate to time, I can actually bend it and get to my meeting right in time.
So I would just like to call attention to how you didn't spew any bullshit there. So another golf clap for you, because that could have gone one of two ways.
That's true.
I respect the hell out of you. So the semantics of terminology is something I get very hung up on. And it's interesting because when I hear you using the word time bending, I'm like, innocent. Now I look at that, I'm like, is it innocent because I know her? Now, would I be offended? Maybe offended is the wrong word because I'm not get offended by someone saying that. But would I have more of a visceral reaction to you using time bending if I didn't know you or using that terminology? Because I look at a word like that in the space that we're in, and I see the potential to induce psychosis. And get not with you, like, or the people that you're working with.
Uh-huh.
But because of others, and not to be disparaging. So I think a lot of my purpose, again, I could be wrong, I could be one with psychosis here, is to help teach people about time and how, again, it's not our enemy. And it really is just a construct. And everything you're saying resonates. So I want to take this one step further. And I'm not telling you to redo your business or anything like that. But what else could you call time bending in a way that's more tangible?
Quantum leaping, perhaps. Like a quantum leap defies time because it makes no sense to the logical mind, right? A person who makes $50,000 a year, who after 1 year shifts into making $2 million a year, right? That's a quantum leap that may defy logic, especially if there's no like tangible explanation for like the person didn't win the lottery or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'd say a quantum leap and the mechanics of what it takes to experience a quantum leap could in a way be synonymous to time bending.
So in that scenario right there, I think of the stock market being a potential. Like if someone took that 50 grand, they're like, I'm going to risk it all right now, live on the streets. And I'm going to put 50 grand into this one stock. And then the return happens within a month or something like that. And then they get 2 million. Yes. Is that a very high yield return? Yes. But what about all the other people that are then affected as a result of the actions of that one person who was going in there with the intention of quantum leap? Because, right, it takes an intention to do it. It's not just, well, if it happens organically without the intention, is it quantum leaping or is it just, oh, I took a risk?
Right. Well, now we're getting into like the eerie side of manifestation and also just the kind of like risky side of manifestation. Right. And so one thing that I'm very clear on is just be a very simple answer is whenever I'm manifesting or taking clients through a process, we are always declaring, and what we declare out loud using speech has vibrational effect to not just our own manifestation, but to everybody else involved. So whenever I'm going into a manifestation process, I'm always saying only if it is for my good and for everybody else's good involved. Right. So for me, it's like, there is a concept in manifestation where like this is like a popular story. Woman keeps driving up and down her street and passing this like her dream home. And she keeps telling her husband, like, oh, I really want to live there. Meanwhile, another family lives there. Okay. I really want to live there. That's my dream home. Why don't we live there? That's my dream home. I really want to live there. Okay. A month later, the man who lived there, like caught on fire and dies. Right. Okay. So this is like tricky territory when it comes to manifestation, because you never want to get yourself involved. Like that house was never hers to begin with, but she manifested it into existence by harming somebody else. Okay. So it's very important that when manifesting, because that is a reality, that is a reality. And that is part of what could turn out to be the case when we're manifesting from a place of low vibration, low consciousness, ego, selfishness, right? But when the intention with manifestation, and this is something that I drill into everyone that comes into my field, is like, you don't know the ripple effect you're having, not just on the person that it's harming, but also on yourself, if you're egocentric around your manifestation, right? So language that she could have used when she passed that house was, wow, this house is so beautiful and there's so much abundance to go around. I would love to manifest a house that is inspired by this one. Right? So simple answer to your question, but I think it's a really important premise for people to start when it comes to manifesting, is to know that it does have a ripple effect. And if your intention is to create more good in the world, then you'll bring abundance, not just to yourself, but to all of humanity.
Yeah, even when you were talking about that, I just saw and not to disparage, but maybe some of the other facilitators or practitioners in the area saying, oh, no, he caught on fire and died, and then they lost everything. Well, that's just what they chose going into this life. They knew that was going to happen. So it's okay, because now they're going to grow as a result of that. I'd be like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. No, not on my account. You know what I mean? Like, not on my account. I'm not causing harm intentionally. Not if I can help it.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you're encouraging, I don't want to say good behavior, but responsible behavior. Just like you said, it's not egocentric.
Yeah.
Well, sure, to a certain extent, it's like, if you want, it's like, well, me. But now, you know what I mean with like, is it a bad thing if someone is slightly egocentric? I think we all are to a certain extent. I mean, shit, I know I am.
We all are, and the ego serves a purpose. So we're not going to just totally like badger the ego for a second, but
we don't want them to all burn in fire, and
no, we don't want that. That's past like healthy ego, and just in the realm of just like,
it's like
pure
dark
evil.
arts.
Yeah. But I think what's more important to distinguish here is like the importance of desire. I said I've spent a lot of time in India, and I was more practicing Hinduism when I was there, but I learned a lot about Buddhism as well. And from what I know of Buddhism, I'm not a Buddhist expert, but what I know of Buddhism is one of the main goals is to relinquish all attachment and desire. Okay. Now, that is not something that I like, bless them. I just don't even see how that's possible. As human beings, like, everything is an urge. To go to the bathroom is an urge. It's a desire. And the desire of desires is to die. Sit with that for a second. The desire of desires is to die. We have inherent in us a bunch of desires. If I'm hungry, that's a desire. I have desire for food. I'm hungry. And so that desire has to be killed off in order for the desire to die. Right? I need to feed myself, and the desire will die. It will be no longer. The desire of desire is to die, right? But the fact that we have been given this thing called desire, I feel like that is just my soul pulling me in the direction of its ultimate purpose at all times. Right. And when I'm following that, of course, there are fallen desires, right? A person could want like an unnecessary amount of like designer cars in their garage. Not judging, but like 20, let's say 20 Lamborghinis or something.
It's a lot of Lamborghinis.
It's a lot of Lamborghinis. And they just want it for the sake of, I don't know, who knows what, but that's probably fallen ego. That's probably fallen desire, right? It's not really serving, unless they're using those cars as like transportation services for people who are in need. I don't know, whatever, then maybe, but in that case, get a bus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I really believe that when we are attuned to the calling of our soul and we follow that calling with intense intention and inspired action, then we are fulfilling the nature of that desire. And by default activating and fulfilling our life's purpose.
So hypothetical for you. What was it you said? I like the wording you used about like the desire is about to what was sorry, it's early for me. Desires leading to soul's purpose. Well, yeah. You just gave me a look right now. It is. Just take my word for it.
Okay.
What was it you said before about desire to soul's purpose, right? Something
like when there is a call for a desire, it's like it's like that desire is tugging on our soul, asking it to go in a particular direction, asking it to move, right?
So what if the desire that your soul is asking you to move towards is one to not want that house or the Lamborghini?
I would have a person ask themselves, why? No, I mean, if you're clear you don't want something, like I have no desire for a Lamborghini. I just don't. But I think there are some people who they try to cut themselves off from desire because there is a hidden narrative of, I am not worthy, I am not deserving. If I want this, it means I am selfish, I am egocentric. So I would start to unpack what are the underlying narratives and the stories that I'm telling myself about myself around worthiness. Because I believe that abundance is everywhere. And as long as we're doing good with that abundance, then I don't feel that there should be any apology for wanting what one wants.
No, I agree with that. Well, because look, I think of someone like me who, in a lot of the past lives that I've seen, which I believe to be genuine, I was in a role of power. And I think that there is this desire inside of me to have power in this life too. And I think I push back against that. So it's like, of course, practitioners I've worked with, everyone's trying to get me to step into my power even more and whatnot. And here I am saying, that's what I want. But I almost feel like I have to do the opposite. Because the second I step out of being in a position of power and handling it responsibly, if I'm driven just by the ego or wanting more, then that's going against the position that I've been put in. Because how would I be in a position to achieve power and learn from those other mistakes that I've made if I wasn't put in the situations in the first place?
Yeah. So my whole understanding of what power is, let's start there, is that true power starts with awareness. And it's not power over, it's power with. It's not linear consciousness, it's circular consciousness. Right. I think in our society, we've been conditioned to believe that power means power over. Whereas my definition of power is collaboration. And I can relate to what you just shared.
Oh, semantics.
No, but if you think
I know, yeah, sorry. I was just giving you a hard time. It's what happens when I bring people on who I'm comfortable with.
It's a little too comfortable. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Never. No. But I can relate to what you said because, the other week I went on a overnight getaway with a girlfriend of mine. And this is after us spending, she lived in our home for 6 weeks and she's like a soul sister. So she gets me and is able to kind of mirror and reflect things back to me about me that I might be in denial about. I might not be seeing in myself. So it was a really profound moment when we got into the whole conversation of archetypes. And how we perceive one another as an archetype. And when I asked her, how do you see my archetype? She didn't even flinch. She was like, oh, duh, you're a queen. I was very taken aback. And she's like, are you surprised? She's like, it's obvious. People know it and you just need to own it. You just need to. And I realized that when she said it, there was a piece of me that was like, no, queen means reigning over. Queen means dictator. Queen means I'm on a throne and everyone's below me and I get to tell people what to do. And that whole picture that I painted for myself around what queen archetype embodies literally made my whole inside cringe because I started thinking, wait, does everyone perceive me as this? And it was my narrative of what I thought queen to be. And then I had to like, once I like reframed and she helped me reframe, she was like, no, you're like the type of queen that collaborates, that brings people into the circle, that really cares about people, that wants good for people. So I think this whole thing, like with power and wanting it and not wanting it, it really depends on like, what are you doing with this power? There are plenty of people in power who are doing really, really horrible things in the world. And then there's people in power who are doing really amazing things in the world. So I'm wondering, and I would have you reflect back, what is the type of power that I'm desiring? And why is it that a piece of that is something that I might not want? Like, what about that feels like fallen power?
What's fallen power?
Fallen power is like evil power. It's like power that is not of its utmost sovereignty. It's not, it's Hitler would be fallen power, right? It's like power that is effective, right? He had his mission accomplished, I guess you could say, but it brought a lot of darkness to the world. And it was clearly evil what he did, right? So I call that fallen power versus like risen power, embodied power, sovereign power, authentic power. Like for what power inherently I believe, okay, fine, semantics, but how I believe power to be is when we're in collaboration, when we are bringing people in, when it doesn't, it could still mean that you are in a position of power, but power no longer has a negative connotation because you really want what's good for the people who you quote unquote are in power with.
I see how I limit myself tremendously by being hyper aware of this, because even for this show, look at the questions that I'm asking today, as opposed to the really sexy questions that I could ask around this, the sexy questions that really get everyone excited, and coming up with a really sexy title that everyone's going to want to click on. I'm a very vain person. I'll just say it. But I am very aware of that vanity or that vain nature that I have. And I work towards not being so vain and not completely capitalizing on what's sexy in this space. Because that's one of the things, like I look at a lot of the other people who are doing what I'm doing. And I say, I could crush all of you. I totally could. I could out, I'm just going to say the word right now, I'll probably bleep it out. I could out you in every way, shape, and form. And have every disease that there was.
Right, you're taking it to a whole new level, Daniel. Okay.
That's what I do.
That's what you do.
But then I think that's where the awareness component can also be a detriment, is trying to look at the bigger picture. Because I look at it through this lens of, the soul evolution. But this is the voice I have in my head. My soul needs to evolve. I need to step away from this desire for power and having everyone admire me, which of course, admittedly, is something I do crave. I do crave admiration and validation. Still working on it. And of course, in the world that we live in, it's being a in the, you know what I mean. But the term isn't always direct. But it's, if I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to sell my soul at the risk, or not at the risk of, but because I want higher engagement. I want more people listening, more people following, more people validating how fucking amazing I am because my numbers are better than yours.
Right.
And then maybe I take it too far and I'm like, fuck, I don't give a shit about my numbers. Fuck that. I'm better than that. And now as I'm saying that, I'm like, oh.
So what's the real? What's the O?
Oh, it is always about being better than everyone else. Because even in this way, I'm like, I'm going against the grain. I'm better than you. Because I'm so worried about chasing the other stuff, because it's like, I'm going to be better than you. Because, of course, coming from that place of power, who would dare challenge me?
I mean,
sorry, can I say one more thing?
Yeah. It's your podcast. You can do whatever you want. You can even tell people you would the whole out of them.
Does anyone still want to work with me? Okay, you have the floor.
No, I think you bring up an interesting point, and I think it's something that it's like it exists in all of us, the potential for, the reality of exists in all of us. And that is an inclination that we are constantly needing to put into check. Because if we don't put it into check, you look at some of the most evil atrocities that happened in the world and how easily people get like brainwashed into doing these atrocities and following suit. Like, I think there comes a point in all of us where we need to say, oh, that could have been me. Like, I have the capacity for that level of evil, for that level of greed, for that level of desire, for that level of power. That I have the capacity for that. And I think we all exist on a spectrum of where we hold in having what you just shared, right? Which is like, that is an inclination that I think we're born with. I mean, if you look at it, you look at children, you look at toddlers, like until they reach a certain age and they're taught otherwise, they're inherently just very selfish.
Mm-hmm.
My kids are not really I mean, in some moments they definitely, I see a lot of empathy. I do. And that gets taught. But when they're born, it's me, 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 me. Look at me, feed me, hug me, love me, put me to sleep. Like, right. It's like, it's me centered. And it takes a lot of reconditioning and training to tame the beast. But I think we all have the beast. And so I wouldn't say you're that different than anybody else. I think your level of awareness over the beast, for lack of a better word, is what is allowing you to kind of keep it in check and make sure that the beast is not in the driver's seat, not in the passenger seat, maybe in the back seat sometimes, hopefully in the car in the next lane over where you can see it, but it's no longer embodying your whole being, right?
No, I mean, I think it's a few cars back in the rear view.
There you go. So that's already a win. That's a win.
Well, I believe that to be the case. I don't necessarily have faith that that's the case. But I mean, one other thing that you brought up that was a really good point about the people who commit these atrocities in the world and kind of looking at, well, we all have the capacity to do that. I'm sure most people on the self-righteous train look at that and be like, no, I would never do that. It's like, well, unless you're actually in that position, how do you really know?
Right.
So I have one more random question for you, then we're going to wrap it up. Because it's okay. You'll see. One sec.
I'm nervous. He's bending over, folks. What's he doing? Oh my gosh, you're unexpected.
Because my bag dropped on the floor.
Oh, okay, fine. Thank God.
This is called the Saturn game. I wasn't playing this yet the last time I had you on. So in this little baggie, I have 4 different periods of time.
Oh.
And I'm going to randomly draw one out.
Okay. It gets more and more fun as the podcast progresses.
Yeah.
People are listening up until this point.
Take my hand up. You see how I'm shaking up again? I mean, look, if I haven't scared them off by for 100 episodes at this point, hopefully they're still listening. Because this happens a lot. Okay, 3rd time pulled out my hand, so I'm grabbing.
Saying I've never been on a podcast with so many unexpected questions, stumping question. I was stumped in this episode. I was stumped. I gotta say, the whole belief faith thing. Like, you got me down a rabbit hole, and you best believe once we're done today, I'm doing my research. So, and now you're putting your hand in a bag, and God knows what you're going to take out. So,
well, you're just feeding into my vanity right now.
That's what I do. All
right. So, Ayelet, the manifestation method proprietor, queen. Shit, I should have put one in there first because, rule of 3, whatever. You win some, you lose some. How have you grown in the past month?
Ooh, wow. Does that bag say month, year, day, decade? Is that like what that bag consists of?
Year, month, week, day.
Oh, year, month. Okay, that makes more sense than decade. Okay, because decade, like what the heck? Okay. How have I grown in the past month? Wow. I mean, I could take this in so many directions, but okay, I'll go here. So we've had a bunch of holidays over this last month, which means that, and when I say a bunch, it's like the whole month has basically been holidays, which means that my kids are out of school. It means like digital shutdown for 3 days at a time, multiple times throughout the month. It means slowing down on the amount of clients that I'm working with, slowing down on creative productions, slowing down on what you get it. So oftentimes going into these time periods where my kids are home, they're not in school, we're with them for extended, it gets a lot. It gets to be a lot of responsibility. And so one thing I will say is leading up to this month, I did a good amount of work on what I call expanding one's energetic container.
As one typically does.
It's basically an activation. I have tons of activations, and they're a combination of hypnosis, NLP, and visualization. And I call them activations. And so I did an activation where I actually see my energetic container, meaning like my capacity to hold my lot, my capacity to hold what I've been given, whether it's showing up for my clients, my work, my courses, my family, my husband, myself, my community, right? It's like there's a certain container that I've been given, a certain lot that I've been given. And sometimes it feels like it's just too much and I've outdone myself and I've over committed to things. And that's when I can start shutting down. And so instead of committing to less this month, because I didn't really have a choice, I had to expand because I can't not commit to my kids and my husband. Like it's just, I chose to envision my energetic container, and you can even see it as a vessel, like a piece of pottery, right? Like turn your whole being into a piece of pottery and actually watch as it gently starts to expand wider and wider to fill the room that you're in, till it fills the house that you're in, until it fills the city, the state, the country, the globe, and beyond, right? And you get so expansive that things energetically start to shift and your nervous system starts to attune to that shift. So what used to affect my nervous system in very quick reactive ways, now there's more space. And so I found that saying yes and showing up to my responsibilities with grace has allowed for my last month to be really enjoyable versus one that could often look like chaos. So that's been really fun. It's been fun to watch like the work that I do, the activations I do on myself start to get mirrored in my 3D reality. And because I'm shifting from the inside out, it's like magic. Like my husband shows up differently, my kids show up differently, and there's just a lot more coherence and regulation throughout the home in my life. And it starts with me. So there was this piece, and thank you for letting me even talk this out loud, because I didn't actually I didn't put it into words. I wasn't like aware that this was happening. And until now, I'm looking back at the last month, just I think one of the magical things about this last month was really having faith in the knowing that it really does start with me, and having faith in the knowing that when I do the work from the inside out, then like magic, my immediate environment and beyond starts to shift and act accordingly, right? Versus I think like the general notion is when you change, I'll change, or when you shift, I'll shift. But there was something really miraculous about seeing in real time me going through the motions of shifting internally, not putting it on my husband, not putting it on my kids, not putting it on my community, but really going in and doing the work and seeing how graceful this whole month has been as a result.
Cool. You want to know what I learned about myself today?
What'd you learn?
If I'm holding myself back because of self-righteousness, I should just really go out there and out everyone. Can't hurt, right?
It can't hurt. And I'll be here. I'll be here if you want to come, and you want.
Enjoying every step of it. Oh,
I'll be enjoying every step of it. I'll be here. You'll be there as entertainment for me. So thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, you'll be clapping when I get the clap.
Yes. I believe in your ability to out one.
Did I really just say that?
You did, but you did.
Oh God, it just gets worse and worse. I think it getting better and better. So after I put you through the ringer, Now that everyone sees that you are real and genuine, how can everyone work with you? What are your offerings?
So I have a number of courses for those who are single and looking to manifest their soulmate, because that's a big one that people come to me for. I am Well, I'll send you a link you could share in the footnotes below, but there's a little free workshop that you can get a feel for to see what that whole course is going to be like. Because I'm putting out a course in the next month on manifest lifelong love, and I'll be collaborating with another influencer who she's a love expert and she's written a book and she's just really good at what she does. So we're creating a course together. It's a 5-week course. We've done this before, and we have numerous testimonials of people who have found their soulmates after taking this course. So it's really an amazing experience. So I can send the link to you below. And then, of course, on Instagram, I share a lot of free content on Instagram. That's the Manifestation Mindset. You can also look up Ayelet Polonsky. And if you want access to any of my other courses, I have courses on just manifestation fundamentals. If you're a beginner, I have a whole abundance series. So it's a bunch of activations that you can just pop in and do over the course of a few weeks and start to see your frequency start to shift. So lots of courses available. Just go to ayeletpolonsky.com. And if you've listened to this episode till now, I love to hear from listeners. So can I say this? Just please reach out to me on Instagram, say hello, and let me know what you liked and what you thought about this podcast.
With the added requirement that you also say, I can't even get through this sentence.
I don't even want to know what's about to come out of your mouth.
If you're going to tell her something you liked about something that she said,
then you have to tell me what you like about Daniel. That should come first. Before you say anything about me, I want to hear 3 good things about Daniel, and then you can tell me what you enjoyed about the podcast.
3? Okay. That's cool.
Let's start there.
Well, thank you so much for... What's up?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I was going to do the sign off. Is that okay? Can I do that now?
Yes.
I just want to thank you for coming on today and really going through it. Really challenging yourself and not being offended by some of the things that I said. Not the vulgar stuff. I mean, the other stuff that some people would take offense to. It's like, how dare you ask me this? But you took it in stride. And I mean, my respect for you just continues to grow. So that, me salute and my hat's off. And yeah, just we'll do another episode. I'll have you on for number 3.
We will.
And
I feel like this is now a once a year thing, minimum, right? Once a year.
And
okay.
I'll be on my best behavior if I come on your podcast.
Won't.
No, I really will.
Oh, when you come on my podcast.
Yeah, because I can do whatever the hell I want on mine. But if I'm in someone else's house, follow their rules.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll even wear a nice shirt. Go buy a sweater. So, okay. Anyways, I like to finish all these episodes by saying, yay.
Yay.
Fellow time travelers, your journey through time awaits you. Just want to thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're interested in discovering who, when, and where you have been throughout time, and you'd like to book a session with me, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist, or you can reach me through my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com.